Welcome. This is for Math for Business and Finance and the math application students. Again, we're continuing on with our Chapter 1 drill problems, the odd number problems. And in the last video, I believe we stopped on 27, so let me find 29 here. Yep, okay, 29. Right, it says add the following and check by totaling each column individually without carrying numbers. So we're going to add the following, right? And then we're going to check, right? So add the following first. 8539 plus 6842 plus 9495. Okay, 9 and 2 is 11, and 5 is 16, carry my 1. 1 and 9 is 10, plus 3 and 4 is 7 for 17, carry my 1. 1 and 5 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 8 is 18, carry my 1. 1 and 9 is 10, 8 and 6 is 14, 10 and 14 is 24. Answer is 24,876. Now it says check by totaling each column without carrying numbers. Okay, so what that means is we're going to look at the ones column, then the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands column, and write those numbers. When we add them up, we're just going to write those in those positions. So 9 and 2 is 11, and 5 is 16. So our 6 is going to go into our ones column. So I write the 16. Now remember, the 6 is in the ones column, right? 3 and 4 is 7, and 9 is 16. So the 6 is going to go in the tens column. 16. That's the tens column. Ones column, tens column. This is in the hundreds column, right? 5 and 8 is 13, and 4 is 17. So the 7 goes into the hundreds column. Again, this is the hundreds column now. And then 8 and 6 is 14, and 9 is 23, so the 3 goes in the thousands column. And now we add them up. So bring down our 6. 1 and 6 is 7. 1 and 7 is 8. 1 and 3 is 4. Bring down our 2. 23,876. They're the same. Did it right. Okay, that's why it's important to keep things in the proper columns so that you don't get things mixed up. When it comes to math, if you're just writing all over the page, it's more of a chance for you to make a mistake. Okay, 1-31. This one says, estimate by rounding all the way and then do the actual addition. So we're going to estimate rounding all the way first. So 6,980, right? We have 6,000 and we're going to round, so we look at the hundredths. So 9 is greater than 5, so we're going to round up to 7,000. 3,190, 3,000, our 1 is less than 5, so we're going to round down to 3,000. 7,819, so 7,000. 8 is greater than 5, so we're going to round up to 8,000. Add them up. 7 and 3 is 10, and 8 is 18. 18,000. Okay, now let's do the actual math. 6,980, 3,190, 7,819. Add them all up. 0 and 0 is 9. 0, 0 plus 9 is 9. Okay, 1 and 9 is 10, and 8 is 18. Carry my 1. 1 and 9 is 10, and 1 and 8 is 9, so that's 10 and 9 is 19. 7 and 3 is 10, 1 and 6 is 7, so that's 17. So we end up with 17,989. Okay, just as a quick aside, these two numbers, they're not supposed to be equal. I mean, one is an estimate and one is an actual, okay? It's rare that they are actually the same, right? When you have your estimate, you know, your actual numbers would actually have to come out to 18,000 for them to be the same. It wouldn't work the other way around. You can't fudge your estimate because you're making the estimate before you know what your actuals are. Okay, so you're kind of like saying, okay, I'm estimating 18,000 in sales, but then you're going to find out that over the 3 days, say it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you ended up with 17,989. All right, it's going to be rare that you're going to have exactly 18,000. So just be aware that when you have an estimate versus an actual, generally they're going to be different. Okay, let's move on. Get a sip of coffee here. Excuse me. Okay. Subtract the following without rearranging. Okay, what's important here is to remember that when you're looking at these numbers, we're not rearranging without rearranging, okay, we have to go in this direction, right? Going in this direction is wrong, right? Right, let's work it through. 0 from 0 is 0. 7 from 5, we can't do that. So we have to take a hundredth there and make that 15. So 7 from 15 is 8. And 8 from 8 is 0. So our answer is 80. Okay. If we did rearrange it, 950 minus 870. 0 from 0. 7 from 5 can't do. So we borrow. 7 from 15 is 8. 8 from 8 is 0. Same number. Okay. Again, don't go in this direction, because if you went and said 0 from 0 is 0, and then you went 5 from 7 is 2, and then 9 from 8, you can't take 9 from 8, so you're stuck. Okay. You have to go in the reverse order. Okay. All right. Next one. Multiply the following horizontally. All right. Relatively simple. 9 times 7 is 63. Carry my 6. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. 133. Problem 1-37. Again, multiply the following horizontally. Right. So 8 times 7 is 56. Carry my 5. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 5 is 21. 216. 1-39. Divide the following and check by multiplication. So divide the following. We're going to take 876 and divide it by 45. 45 can't go into 8. 45 can go into 87 how many times? Well, 45 times 1 is 45, and 45 times 2 is 90. Again, this is a trial and error process. Okay. Well, I know 90 is greater than 87, so I can't use 2, I have to use 1. Okay. So 1 times 45 is 45. Subtract. 5 from 7 is 2. 4 from 8 is 4. Now, if I had come out with a number that was greater, I mean, we're only using 2 digits here and 1 digit, but if you had numbers like 36,787 divided into 1,698,794, okay, when you guess at that number, I mean, it's, you know, you're not going to sit and do as easily as I did here, 45 times 1, 45 times 2, because you end up doing a lot of math. Okay, like for example here, we know that number wouldn't go into 1, it wouldn't go into 16, wouldn't go into 98, wouldn't go into 1,698, because this is already 36,000. So we have to be looking at 16,987, right? Obviously 36,000 can't go into 16,000, so I'd have to look at 169,879. I'd be all the way over to here. Well, how many times does 36 go into 169? I'm going to take a guesstimate of 5 or 4, right? Do the math, do the multiplication, and find that out. So like I said, it's a trial and error thing. All right, just as a quick aside, when the numbers get big, you do have to be doing a lot of the math in order to get it right. But if I had guessed on that problem and had 4, and my remainder was greater than the number I'm dividing by, well then I know I would have to move up to a bigger number, trial and error. So again, if this here answer was not 42, but it was like 47, well then I know that I would have to divide by 2 instead of 1, okay? So I'm left with a remainder of 42, and I bring down my 6. All right, 45 can go into 426 how many times? Well, I know 45 times 10 is 450, right? Right. For those that don't know, 45 times 10, 0, 5, 4. Okay. I know 450 is greater than 426, but it's pretty close, so I'm going to guess at 9. All right. Now, if I had guessed, let's make a mistake here and say I had guessed at 8. All right. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry my 4. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 4 is 36. When I subtract, I have 0 from 6 is 6, 6 from 2, well, that would make that a 3, and that would mean I'd have 12. So 6 from 12 is 6, okay? 66 is greater than 45, so I know I can't be using 8, okay? I have to use something, I have to use the next number, which would be 9, okay? So I have to use 9, just because that 66 is greater than 45. Right. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry my 4. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 4 is 40. Subtract 1 from 6, 5 from 6 is 1. 0 from 2 is 2. So I have a remainder of 21. So my answer is 19, and I have a remainder of 21. Now, I'm going to check by multiplication. So I have to take my 19, multiply it by 45. Remember, I could do the same thing and take 45 by 19. Okay, either way, it doesn't matter. I do the multiplication, and then whatever I get, I'll have to add back in the 21, because that's a remainder. Right? So let's do the multiplication. 5 times 9 is 45. Carry my 4. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 4 times 9 is 36. Carry my 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Add them up. 5, 9 and 6 is 15. Carry my 1, 855. And then I have to add back in the 21. 1 and 5 is 6. 5 and 2 is 7. And 8. So I end up with 876. So this number and this number are the same. Okay? So I know that this is my right answer when I'm dividing by 45. Divide by 45, get 19, remainder of 21. Multiply, add in the remainder to get 876. Okay? Stopping here and move on to another video.